And then this was the start of the scariest day of our life. At that moment, I realized I was completely not in control.
And the most amazing thing where we have seen God's hand in this story, number one, Jake was home because had he been gone, I would have died that day.
These are the moments in time that we realized that point where I felt completely out of control, felt like God's completely in control.
I think that was the turning point for us. I wasn't a believer. And just to think like where my life started and where it is now, and that he did not forget me. He didn't leave me. He had good plans for me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Radiant Podcast. And today we are joined by people that I really like, Jake and Jessica. Lance. People say your name wrong a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying it very clearly. So that sets the record straight. And so I have known you guys for some years now here at Radiant. How long have you been attending Radiant? What year did you guys come here?
2019?
Oh, okay. So when in 2019? What month?
I think it was January.
Or was it 2020? I trust her.
Yeah.
It was January.
I will look in her direction for every
Yes,
yeah.
It was January 2019. It was right before we had our youngest.
So a year after I got here, because I was January 2018
Okay.
is when we officially moved here. So I've known you guys, seen you around a lot, and then my kids love you guys. You guys are faithful people in our kids ministry, and so my kids love you guys. We live close to each other, and I have known a little of your story, and then about a year ago, we did like a Radiant story with you guys. Just your story of infertility and pregnancy, and your 3 beautiful kids now, and kind of seeing God through that process, the ups and downs. And I had seen, and it was beautiful. I cried when I watched it. I told you this morning. I was watching it again I can't say on the way in. I had it playing. I wasn't like watching it. I had it playing as I was driving in, and I was like tearing up again listening to the story. And it was like a year ago, and but it was like 4 minutes, and it probably took 4 hours to set it up, let alone how long it plays, because we were playing in our church service. And so I had found you guys in the lobby, and I was like, guys, I want to hear more of this. I want to let's do a longer conversation of what were you feeling? What were the conversations like? Yeah. Kind of get more into like the meat of the story, as opposed to like, here's the skipping stone over it.
Yeah. And
I will, it's a beautiful story. I'm going to like put it in our like descriptions to be able to go watch that story, because was that at your house? Was that?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And your kids are amazing. There's a shot of one of your sons throwing the football to your daughter.
Hit in the face.
Yeah, in the face. And I love that they kept that. Yeah. I laughed so hard. It's such a good. She's trying, and she just gets smashed in the face.
I was so glad there was a laughing moment.
Yeah, and it's in slow motion too. It's like they really like beautifully edited that that moment. And so, so I'll put that video in there so that people can see it. But before we jump into your story, I'd love just to kind of get a little bit of a background of who you are, because obviously you guys didn't move here until like 2019. So did you guys, before we kind of talk about the ups and downs of life, we're not going to go deep into your childhood, but it's like, did you guys grow up in a Christian home? Did you have Christian parents? Like, what was your foundations like before you walked through this season? Does that kind of make sense? Yeah. Who wants to go first?
You want to start?
I can start. Yeah. So I actually grew up on the east side of Michigan in Davison, and I did not grow up in a Christian home. Okay. So I went to church. I went to church with my aunt a few times growing up, but really didn't have an understanding of who Jesus was. Yeah. And then once I went to college at Western, I really just started to seek and like feeling like I can't ever be perfect. Yeah. And so there was just something missing. Yeah. And then that's when I met Jake. And he can give his background, but really, when we met, we started to grow in that relationship together. Yeah. And I started asking him questions about Jesus. And I remember one of the first things we did, I think, is watch The Passion of the Christ together. So.
That's a
little intense.
Was that your first date together?
Not our first date, but.
That's a terrible
I think The Notebook was the first.
Okay, the Notebook was the first. But just, I think we grew in that relationship together. So really, I became a believer in college, I think by sophomore year.
Wow, okay. So okay. Do you have siblings?
Yep, 2 younger brothers.
Okay, so you grew up non-Christian home, not really, but there was a point to where it's like, I'm not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
And that's when you meet Jake. So you guys went to the same college.
Yep.
Okay.
So we met there.
And you grew up in a Christian home? Or
I grew up in a Christian home. My grandfather was a pastor.
Okay.
So it was always part of what we did.
Yeah.
We went to church, and I say what we did because the relationship piece I don't think was completely tied together when I was a kid, which led to me not feeling perfect when we were in college because there were a lot of imperfect things I was doing at that time. Yes, so I grew up in a Christian home.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you were, more Christian than her, and so that was kind of like when you guys met. That's when you realized, oh, there's something else. Like there's something. Okay. So, what did that then look like? Like, how long were you guys together before you got married?
I think it was 4 years.
Okay.
So we got engaged after 3 years.
Yeah.
We got engaged the week I graduated from Western. He graduated a little before me.
The week? Wait, you said engaged or married? Sorry,
engaged.
I missed. Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh.
I proposed that week.
Yeah. Okay. So engaged, you graduate, and you said there was like a year later you get married. Okay.
And we stayed in this area. We really liked West Michigan. Jake grew up in Ann Arbor, so we're both from the east side of Michigan, but loved Kalamazoo area.
Yeah.
Both found jobs.
Yeah. So at this point, so now that's some years later, engaged, getting married. Are you guys going to church together? Is it like, what's your relationship like with God?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started going to church probably right around when we got engaged, I believe. We probably went a couple times here and there. And then we started going pretty consistently then at that point of getting involved. First church we had went to, I'm thinking of Kalamazoo Community.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had went there, and it was we weren't at the point where we were getting involved serving, but probably after a year or two there, then we moved to another church, and we then were serving.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in a church, you're more engaged, you're developing more relationship with God.
Yep. I got baptized actually the Sunday before we got married at our first church we started going to together.
Yeah.
So,
okay. All right. So there's some big strides happening for you
Mm-hmm.
in developing that relationship with the Lord. All right. So then you guys get married. And that's where I know this, where the story I've watched, the 4-minute story I've watched, that's where the kind of the story starts.
Yeah.
It's like the first line. It's like, we got married and we wanted to have kids. And so I know you guys have been married for, I think we were just talking, we've both been married for 17 years now, so there's a lot in that story of marriage.
Yeah.
So let's kind of pick up, I'll let you guys kind of take over and kind of pick up, all right, you guys get married, you have expectations, you guys want to start a family, you've known each other for some years now.
Yeah.
At this point, I think, I'm assuming, I know what you do now for work. So it's like your full-time career. Are you also like full-time career at this point as well? Okay. So, and you guys want to start a family. So why don't you take over?
Sure. So we got married.
I look to you because I assume Jake's not going to remember any details.
I just thought of some details before marriage, and I'll come back to those when we're ready.
Before we wrap up, I'll be asking if you forgot anything and let me share.
Yeah, we got married 23 and 25, pretty young.
Yeah.
Like we didn't quite feel ready. We knew we wanted to have a family. Yeah. We said maybe 3 to 4 kids we would love to have. But we wanted to wait a couple years.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe after 2 years, we're like, okay, you're never going to feel completely ready, but we're ready to start a family. And it happened pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, this is so easy. Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I think about 7 weeks in, I didn't even know about ectopic pregnancy at the time yet. I hadn't even seen a doctor yet because it was pretty early on.
Early,
I think I was supposed to see a doctor maybe the next week.
Okay.
And that's when just a lot of like weird symptoms, things happening, a lot of pain in my body. And then that day that it happened, that we had the ruptured ectopic like tubular pregnancy, Jake was actually supposed to be out of town that day. I remember it was something he really wanted to go to and it didn't work out. And so we were frustrated that day.
Yeah. This is, okay, so before it happens, there were just happening a moment where you couldn't go.
Yes.
I was
He was supposed to be gone.
Okay, got it.
And it was frustrating.
It was very frustrating.
Yeah.
We were very angry. I think he was angry that
Yeah.
he couldn't go to this event that he was
Yeah.
supposed to be at.
Yeah.
And we know that
Wow.
God's provision for that day.
Yeah.
So we just went about the day. We were out running errands and doing some things, and I had crazy pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy pain.
Yeah.
I mean,
where I could barely really walk. We were out doing some errands and things and trying to get home. And I think
Like
he was
suddenly? That's
pretty extreme,
terrifying.
sudden pain. It was terrifying. And I think he was thinking like, what in the world? Like, what is going
Did you
on?
not stretch? Like, what's
Well, and it's our first, our first time being pregnant.
Yeah.
And you guys know you're pregnant? This is 7
so
weeks.
we had
knew.
maybe,
So you knew really early.
yeah, I think maybe we knew for a couple weeks.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
So
we had known, we started calling
the midwife.
And
Yeah.
then we're just thinking, okay, they're probably thinking we're the crazy first parent.
Yeah.
Our first time future parent overthinking. And that's actually how it kind of felt when they were responding at that time to us. Like, no, this is normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is normal. We've never been through this experience before.
Mm-hmm.
But something seemed wrong.
Yeah.
Very wrong.
Yeah.
And so I remember, were we doing laundry?
Yes, we were doing laundry.
So we were doing laundry.
When it all kind of started and I started feeling this pain.
Yeah.
Yep. And we were then driving home from the laundromat, and Jess then goes to lay down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went and laid down and laid in the bed, and we're like, okay, well, she's just going to be in the bed all day. I didn't get to go to this thing that I was planning for. A Michigan, I think, basketball game or football game was on at that time. So I guess I'll just watch this in the other room. And, But Jess is in massive pain still through this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was feeling yucky. I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
Just felt like kind of nauseous, kind of dizzy. So I think he had called the midwife maybe a few times.
Yeah.
Just like updating her on the symptoms I was having and how I was feeling. I had shoulder pain and things like that.
Jeez.
And I think, again, like not knowing we hadn't met her, it was like, I think this is normal. She just needs to rest, like things like that. So that's how the day went on. And then...
And you were so she was laying in our bed, and then she just started getting more and more tired and sleepy. And we were just saying, okay, well, she'll just go to bed and that. And then you needed to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Stands up and needs help getting out of bed. So I'm walking her. And then we end up in the bathroom. And then this was the start of the scariest day of our life.
Yeah.
Because Jess then collapsed and hit her face right on our countertop.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I realized I was completely not in control.
Yeah.
And it was very scary. And it was now I'm calling 911. We've got to handle something differently than what we're doing right now, because this is not working.
Yeah.
With what's happening.
Yeah.
So
that's terrifying.
Very terrifying. Yeah.
That's very terrifying. Yeah. I mean, that goes from like, all right, just kind of, get some rest. You're probably feeling, whatever. You're probably feeling sickness from being pregnant or whatever, to
this is an emergent. Something's not right.
It just goes like this. That's absolutely terrifying. Yeah, man. Okay. So now it's like, all right, I'm done calling the midwife. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So do you go straight to the hospital or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the most amazing thing where we have seen God's hand in this story, number one, Jake was home, because he had been gone, I mean, I would have died that day, just bleeding internally.
Jeez.
But God made a way that Jake was home.
Yeah.
And the ambulance drivers were right on the corner where we lived. So they got
just
there.
Hanging out.
I'm getting chills right
now. Yes, they were waiting there.
Yeah.
And so when they got the call, they got there instantly.
Almost instantly.
That's wild.
Yes. Got me to the hospital pretty fast. And then, of course, the doctor on call specialized in ectopic pregnancy.
I
mean,
no, you can't make
thank
this
you,
stuff up.
Lord, for just his hand on that day. And so they were able to get me into surgery pretty quickly, knew what was going on. So I'm so grateful.
Even prior to that, so there was the doctor that specialized in ectopic pregnancy, but there was a doctor that came in, I remember. So there were a lot of nurses around helping, but, kind of looking at the situation as it seemed like it maybe wasn't as serious.
Yeah.
And there was a doctor that walked in who knew immediately and I don't know how much you remember of that because you were losing a lot of blood at that time. But he had felt right and he knew immediately and got her right in.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the moments in time that we realized that point where I felt completely out of control felt like God's completely in control.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy to think about like in those moments, like you not being there or like the potential of you not being there.
Yeah.
And then you are there and we're like, we're annoyed at the situation. And then to like look back and you like put all those puzzle pieces together. Like we were just sharing before we were meeting in the coffee shop before this, we were telling the story of Natasha and I through cancer. And there's so many of those moments that you don't really think about. And then you start lining them up and you're like, you cannot even write this. Like you can't even make this up. It's like literally the Lord like was walking through that whole time. Yeah. But it's absolutely terrifying. Yeah. It's absolutely terrible. Like it's all of those things. But then you look back and you're like, wow, like this could have gone so literally different. To hell in many different situations. Yeah. And so, okay, so surgery happens and I'm assuming there's a recovery process, all that kind of stuff. And then, so, I mean, I'm curious. I mean, this is pretty terrifying. And now I know you guys now, and you've loved Jesus and it's great. So I don't know what your relationship was like. I know we talked like you had a relationship, but maybe it was different then. So like, what are those, like, are you praying? Are you talking to God? Are you like, what is that like for you?
I mean, at that moment when Jessica had collapsed, I remember going in the other room because then paramedics were in there and they're helping out. And I'm bawling. I mean, do I remember specifically what prayers I said? I don't. I know that, yes, in that moment, was praying and calling my parents and her parents and just starting to make those rounds. Yeah. So I would say, yes. Yeah. I was. Were we as fervent, I guess, in prayer before that? I don't recall specifically.
Yeah. I think that was the turning point for us. Where I know for me, where I don't know that I'd ever had anything that significant happen in my life where there was no way for me to have any peace without relying completely on the Lord at that point. Yeah. And that's when I think my prayer life became what it was. I mean, you never want to go through something like that, but at the same time, I think that's where like my deep relationship with the Lord started.
Yeah. Wow.
Like when you go through those valleys.
Yeah.
And just holding on to so many different scriptures and, you know, we can get into it more, but just that prayer life through the process of growing our family. Yeah.
So, all right. So that happens. Yeah. And I mean, we could end this story here. Like, that's insane. Like, just that you're alive.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, if you, like, I wasn't even, like, I didn't know this part of your story. Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, let's talk about infertility and kids and the miracle of life. And then I'm realizing, oh, you just being alive right now is a miracle because there's 5 reasons why you shouldn't be alive. And you are alive. And then to hear the story that continues after that, like, I'm like, this is insane. This is crazy. So what happens next?
So I had the surgery and, you know, because one of my tubes had ruptured, you know, they told us, you know, they tried to salvage, but they couldn't. So they told us right away after, you know, our chances of conceiving beyond that would be hard because really it's like you have every other month chance, you know, you have like half of what you need to conceive. So we kind of knew that going in. And then I went through a time, you know, so thankful to be alive, but grieving that baby right away. You know, I think, we knew for 2 weeks we were pregnant, but we had so many plans already. Oh, yeah. And we both had ended up praying separately for a name for that baby.
Oh,
and
wow.
we both got the name Grace, which is, I mean, and just the fact that God's grace on my life and for our life. Wow. So we, you know, had that just to feel like we could mourn that baby. And then that's when it's just like that month after month after month waiting, you know, hoping and praying that we would be able to have children. Yeah. But that not happening. Yeah. So that's where I think, just that faith journey. And I felt a lot of bitterness, a lot of questions. Yeah. At the time, like, why, Lord?
Yeah.
We wanted to be parents so bad. And one of the biggest struggles for me was that we had so many friends, and our best friends at the time, right after, not long after our miscarriage, they conceived. And
I think that's like
they're first.
The most common thing I've heard.
Yes, it's so hard.
It's like I've talked to a lot of people lately that have had infertility. And it literally was like, and my best friend or like my sister was also pregnant at the same time. Yeah. And it was like, and it's so like, it's that you want to, I think what's harder for me is not necessarily, or the thing I would assume would be harder is not necessarily the pain of your loss, but it's the trying to celebrate them, but it's painful to celebrate them.
Absolutely.
It's like, I want to be happy for you, but every time I see your child, it reminds me that I lost my child. And it's like, and you're like, it's so much to wrestle with.
Yes.
Okay, so how many months go by of you guys? So after that surgery, and you're trying for kids. I'm assuming that's happening, and then how many months go by before the next thing?
I think it was maybe 13 or 14 months, maybe, of just that waiting.
Wow.
And that, and trying, and in that time periods when our best friends, were pregnant with their first. And yes, that was a huge struggle for me I was so happy for them. Yeah. But then that questioning the Lord, like, why them, Lord, and not us? Yeah. And I just remember I kept a prayer journal that time through all those months because I just needed a way to get those thoughts out. Put those thoughts and put those prayers down. And I remember just sitting in that empty nursery, just bawling. Wow. And like feeling such confliction in my heart where I'm like, I can't even pray for her out loud. Mm-hmm. My best friend at the time. I was so happy for her, but I was like, I'm going to write prayers down for her pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And just trusting God for his plan for us. Yeah. It was in Esther, perhaps I've created you for such a time as this. And that scripture just really spoke to me and encouraged me. And I meditated on that God has a plan for our kids for a certain time. And I just had to trust his time, even though I wanted kids at a certain time, that, he had a plan for our friends' children, but he also had a plan for ours. And I just had to trust and wait. And I begged God to take that desire for kids off my heart if we weren't going to have any. And that never went away. Yeah. So I was just trusting, okay, Lord, in your timing, I believe we're going to have kids. We're going to have a family. Yeah.
So you mentioned you were praying in an empty nursery. Yeah. When did you set that nursery up?
So we never set it up. We left it empty.
Okay.
Like we didn't want to put anything else in there. We were believing and trusting that we were going to have a baby in there. And so that was kind of my sacred place, like my prayer room.
Basically an empty room.
It was an empty bedroom. Yeah. Yep. And we never put anything in there. I had my prayer journal in there. Yeah. And so at the time I was teaching. And so I would come home from school every day, sit down. I remember I read a book by Mark Batterson called The Circle Leader, where he talked about praying circles around. So, I would just walk the nursery and pray and trust and thank the Lord that we were going to have a baby in that room and my prayer journal. And that just kind of became my sacred spot with the Lord. And I just would cry and like, this is not surprising to God. Like he knows I'm angry. He knows I'm upset. He knows I just felt like the most out of control of my life I've ever felt because I couldn't control that. Yeah. Even though I wanted to. I have a hard time not controlling things.
Jess is an extreme planner.
Yeah.
So like, did you, I've seen this in other situations. So I'm curious for you, like, typically when someone can't control something, they start overly controlling something else. And so did you feel that like, I can't control this. And so it was like causing you to feel like out of control. So it was causing you to feel like I'm trying to control something else because I can't even control this.
Yeah, I would say that. And just wanting everything to be in order, a lot of like anxiety, just feeling out of order.
Yeah. Well, because you're constantly waiting for something to happen and it's not happening. Yeah. And so instead of like, I would assume instead of like hoping, it's like, oh, I'm excited for this to happen, so I can't wait. It's like, okay, I'm assuming now that we're not going to get pregnant or we're going to try again and it's going to be another negative test or another. And that anxiety kicks in because you're always waiting for that negative.
And every month that negative test, it was like a grief again.
Yeah.
And then the next month, okay, we have hope for the next month, which I think helped keep us going. Like every month was a fresh start, but then, you start to lose faith that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So that's like 13 to 14 months of just negative test, praying in a nursery, praying in an empty room, which is your nursery. And then, so then what happens after that?
So I think just on our own, we conceived. It was maybe about 14 months later. And it was almost like getting that positive test was the best feeling, but terrifying.
Yeah.
Just wondering if this.
Because you had a positive test in the past. Yeah.
And is this baby going to be okay? And is this real?
Yeah.
And so we, went to the doctor. We had to get blood work done because I was at a higher risk to have an ectopic again.
Yeah.
So I think they just helped walk us through that process. Every couple days getting blood work. When we were able to get an ultrasound. I mean, still throughout that whole pregnancy, though, there was some fear.
Yeah. I was going to that was my question I was going to ask was there a point where you felt like I would almost, it's not this clean, but it's like just the way to describe it is like we had 50% joy and 50% fear, from day one, or was it mostly fear with a little bit of joy? Like, was there ever a moment where it felt like the fear was starting to subside and it was more like, as the pregnancy went on, did it become more joy, or was it actually just like we had fear the whole time because of all the trauma that you guys experienced for so long?
Just speaking on my end, I would say that as we went on, there were certain milestones that you're told about, right? One is that 6 week, making sure that we got past that this time. And then it was the next ultrasound.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the 20 week, if I'm remembering that correctly. You start like,
you're like, okay, I think
we're okay.
This is happening. And then,
but 20 weeks is a long time.
Yes. So then it's, I think as weeks went on, I started believing more that, hey, this is really going to happen. But there still was a sense of, hey, are we going to experience something here at some point?
Oh yeah.
Because we experienced something we never imagined or even knew could happen.
It's always that little voice in your head. Like I was just telling you guys earlier that, so my wife has been cancer-free now for, I think I was trying to do the math. I think it was like 14 years, and I could be off. But, and she's been like graduated from her cancer center and has had zero issues for the last 9-10 years. So it's
Amazing.
like, it's been way in the past, but it's still like if she gets like a little sick or like she gets a cold or she's like some sort of like weird thing, it's like I know that like you just have a cold, but then there's always that little voice in my head that's like, could this be worse though? Like because
you've experienced
such that big trauma that you're like I would like even when we had I told you guys also that we were told we weren't going to have kids, so then you're just thinking, okay, that's actually what's going to happen. And we have our son, no issues, but then when we have our daughter, like during that time, I'm like, well, we had once and it was great and she's healthy and it's awesome. But also I remember this happened. So it's like, there's always that little bit of fear that you're always trying to wrestle with. And so I can imagine like, I couldn't be in your position. That was probably, 2 years, like when that first,
or when Levi was born. Yep.
Yeah. So like 2 years earlier, experiencing that traumatic moment and then trying to like be excited and have joy in like this next moment, because it's like, which one is going to happen? Like, is this going to be good or is it
I had this
scary?
like fear and doubt that something bad was going to happen, which I know is not not good.
Real.
And I wasn't trusting, but it's such a raw, real thing.
Yeah. Okay. So 20 weeks turns into 30, turns into however many weeks it was, but it's so normal pregnancy then at that point. Yeah. Okay. So you have your first, and what, like at that point, I'm sure there's this like almost this little bit of redemption, maybe a bit of relief, and then I don't know how like between your first and second, what's that process? Like, I know what the process is. I know how it happens. I know 1 + 1 = 2. I meant time. Like, is it like, hey, we want to, start right away. We want to do we want to go through this again or what's that conversation like?
Was it 6 months?
I think.
6 months later?
No, I think maybe
No.
closer to a year.
Maybe a year.
Closer to a year, I think, okay, we're ready to try again. It happened,
It is possible.
Yes, we had that belief.
Yeah.
But we didn't realize, I think it was maybe 16 months or so.
Yeah.
It was like the secondary
wow, yeah.
infertility and just, because, they told us our chances for conceiving were low.
Yeah.
And again, that month after month doubt.
Yeah. So at this point, I think you said you were married at 23, 25. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you've done this is 4 years. So you're almost 30. Is that what this is?
So we waited.
Yes. Well, so I had Levi at 30. So I'm
Okay.
over 30 at this point.
Oh, you had him at 30. Okay.
Mhm.
So my math was way off.
Because there was about a 2.5 year period before we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I knew there was another 2 year
Yeah.
that I was missing. Yeah. So even at that point, just naturally, it's
Yeah.
like
This wasn't my plan. I
Yeah.
wanted it to be before.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Like it's all these things where it's like we wanted this to happen sooner, and everything's being delayed by not just months, like years.
Yeah.
It's like to think,
Mhm.
okay, this is when we'd like to have our second child. Well, sorry, it's like 2 years later.
Exactly,
You're gonna,
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny from the timing side. Jessica wanted a baby before 30.
Yeah.
And it was a month
after I
turning
turned 30.
None of them.
So that is not our timing.
Yeah.
With that.
Wow, that's crazy.
But the crazy thing that second time around, so I think it was maybe 16 months, and our OB had said, okay, you could go to visit the fertility specialists, and they could maybe give you some options at this point because it's been so long. So I remember we had a meeting with the fertility doctor, sat down with him that day. He talked about some medications and some things we could try. And really, I remember going out of that meeting feeling like, man, he told us our percentage of conceiving every month was so low. I think it was under 20% or something.
Oh, yeah. That's
And that it could
very
take
disheartening.
a while.
Chance.
yeah.
And then we went home that day after meeting with the fertility doctor, and Jake's like, we should probably just take a pregnancy test just to make sure. And I was pregnant.
That's crazy.
And I felt like God was telling me, he told me, you got to trust, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure this out on your own.
Yeah.
Trust my timing.
Yeah.
And so, wow. I mean, just how that all worked out.
It is crazy. Okay, so I assume I want to fast forward but then retroactively look back at something. So I assume your second child, the pregnancy and everything is normal and healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm bringing up right now is you have months to almost years, and then you have just trauma and things that are not going well. But then there's these exact moments in time where it's everything is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like what you just said, God saying, this is my timing.
Yeah.
You wanted it like this. And
You're trying
there's
to
nothing
control
wrong with
it.
wanting
Yeah.
that. And you're not sinning by wanting it, but it's you're trying to do it in this way. And I'm just letting you know it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
It's going to be like this. And it doesn't make sense to us. It's well, I wanted it this time or like this. And so I'm looking back now, your story, I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, one thing if it was it was always hard to get pregnant and it was always hard to stay pregnant. We just barely got through this, but it's no, actually it was nothing. And it was this, oops, knocked my whole mic. It was the soon, suddenly. And then the soon, suddenly of God, which is crazy.
The soon was very difficult.
Yeah.
And being from the husband's perspective, and I want to come back to that a little bit because Jessica was, she had always longed for having these babies, and I am, an eternal optimist, glass 85% full,
mostly full, overflowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I love that about you.
But the thing that happened during both of those soon waiting periods was I had a mentor in my life that was mentoring me for a completely different thing in church with a first impressions team that I was leading.
Yeah.
And God knows me so well, and this just hit me today, is that I can be stubborn with going and seeing a counselor and this side. He was a counselor
Oh, wow.
by day.
Yeah.
And he helped walk through those moments of how I could support Jessica through this.
Yeah.
Because I would think optimistically. And, hey, we're going to get to that next moment. That soon's here, but it was supporting her and just knowing that I had this touch point that was there. I was so grateful for that because I don't know if I would have sought that out otherwise. And he just kept supporting me and helping me and kept wanting to meet with me. And it was, I'm just so grateful for that.
Oh yeah. It's one more puzzle piece that you like, oh wow, God put this exact person in my life that you needed for you. Like it's like all these little like puzzle pieces that fit together
and you needed encouragement too in a different way because we both handled the process so different and grieved in different ways.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like, I mean, this is so common in these different types of, in these issues is like, you want to grieve, but the problem is at this point, it's like, it's part of your body. Like it's like, and so it feels different. Like when you express the pain of loss and then your wife also is feeling that, but she's also most likely thinking it's my fault. Like it's something is wrong with me. That's why you're sad or you're upset. And it's like, no, that's not it. But you can't help but feel that because it's just the situation. Yeah. And so there are moments where it's like, how do we come together? How do we grieve together? How do we process together? But also I need someone I can talk to like this, like I need like a guy that I can share this with and be able to be vulnerable without it feeling like I'm saying what you're doing wrong. It's like, that's not what I'm feeling, but I don't know how to say it. Like, you know, I wish I was a dad and you're like, well, it's my fault that you're not a dad. And it's like, no, that's not the case, but I don't know how to share that. And that's the beauty of that puzzle piece that God puts, you know, that person in your life. So, okay. So you have, you find out you're pregnant, naturally without the help of infertility.
Yeah.
But you're seeing an infertility doctor at that time, like starting that process, which is crazy. And then normal pregnancy. And then now you have 2 kids and you're in your 30s and you are, I'm assuming this is just continuing your trajectory towards with your relationship with the Lord as well. Yeah. It's like the Lord is like walking you through this wilderness season. And he's like, and then now here's this moment and now walking you through this wilderness season. So what happens next?
So I think then we decided, okay, we're getting older. We might not get 4 kids. Maybe like, okay, God, like, should we continue to grow our family?
Yeah.
And we ended up getting pregnant pretty quickly, which was kind of a miracle in itself with how things had went so far. We're really excited. And so I always had to go to the doctor and get blood work done quickly and everything. Well, then we found out 9 or 10 weeks that baby, that we were going to be miscarrying.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, man, I wasn't mentally prepared, thinking, okay, God, we had already walked this.
It's really different than having a negative pregnancy test. Yes. Like, it's like, oh, I've been able to walk through 18 months of negative pregnancy tests, but to have the
see positive
10 weeks in and then have the
positive blood work and everything, but just to see that baby wasn't growing, wasn't progressing, you know, and then having 2 little ones, like 2 toddlers basically at the time and grieving, but not really having the time to grieve, which
I was just
was a blessing.
You can't really grieve the same way.
You know, I had to be mom and I had to be strong for them. And I think it was a blessing though, because it distracted me. It kept me busy. And I had already done this. I knew God was good. I knew he was faithful. So I felt stronger in my grief at that point. Still very hard. And we named that baby David. And I remember, so our kids, I love it. It's part of our story and it's part of our family story where, I mean, our kids talk about Grace and David and how they'll be in heaven and they're going to meet them in heaven and they include them in family drawings and things all the time. Wow. So it's a part of who we are. And just that hope that those babies are in heaven. Yeah. And that heaven is so real for us. And they see that too. It's just that's been really beautiful in the story. But then the crazy thing, so after we had that miscarriage, we ended up conceiving like the next possible time, which is miraculous. Yeah. And we would not have Everly, our youngest, had we not had that loss. Mm. And so it was, again, just trusting, okay, God, you had a plan for her. Yeah. she had to be here at this exact time.
Yeah.
And without, even though we didn't want to have that loss,
Mhm.
she is meant to be here for a purpose and a plan.
Yeah.
And just seeing God's hand in all of that, even though
Wow.
it was really hard.
Yeah.
He's good, and he's shown us his goodness.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that's just like a roller coaster
Yeah.
of emotions. Because I don't like how, like, what is the time period between the miscarriage and the conception?
Maybe like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something crazy.
Again, it's like
we've never experienced
like
that.
the due dates were really within maybe a couple months of each other, which is insane.
And so to me, it's another example of that. Like, we brought up the example earlier of we're having a miscarriage or infertility, and our friend is pregnant and having a baby. Yeah. It's like, how do I find joy but mourn? And so at that point, there's another example of we're mourning the loss of our miscarriage, but we're also like we're having joy in this pregnancy.
Yeah.
And they're super close. Like that's wild. That's like that. I'm sure that's just like, you flip a coin. What are you feeling today? And it's like at that point. So I kind of want to, before we talk about, because I know that pregnancy was great and she's awesome as well. And so she's the one that gets hit in the face with the football in the video.
Her middle name is Joy.
Oh, really? Oh, look at that. I've said that word like 20 times. That's awesome. And so I almost want to kind of go back, like retroactively look over this whole period. So this is like what, 8 years?
7, 8 years,
7, 8 years?
I think total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is like, you had mentioned, I had a mentor. He was kind of helping me and how I like communicate. What was your guys' like communication, like conversations like with each other? Because I can get like between the Lord, it's like coming raw, I'm trying to talk, trying to grieve this stuff. But with you guys, like did these situations knit you guys? Were there wedges between it? Like what was, like sometimes in those moments, like the enemy will try to wedge something apart. Or they'll be knit super strong, or it's like we struggled with this or these kinds of conversations. I'm trying to get like into the meat of it.
Yeah. I think it really knit us together.
Yeah.
And made us stronger as a couple, where like you said, it could have torn us apart.
Yeah.
But I think we felt like, okay, if we can get through these things, we can get through anything together. Yeah. And we have to stay strong together. But it was so important for us to be able to grieve and have time with the Lord alone. I know, especially for me. And he gave me that space. I mean, there was a lot of time where I just needed to be by myself and have those conversations with the Lord and wrestle with him myself.
Yeah.
And he always gave me that space, but gave me that encouragement and praying together. I just think it really helped bond us early on in our marriage. So.
Yeah. It was a long period of time. I'm trying to play out the whole 8 years.
Yeah, it's so much, man.
But absolutely. I mean, you go through, I mean, I don't know how many situations we can write down from just those 8 years, and you grow stronger together, you go stronger with the Lord. But for us, you hit it, I think perfect, is like, everything became more real, like even the heaven becoming real with our kids, and knowing that that's part of our story. This is our story. This is what it is. We didn't know how it was going to unfold at the time that it was going down. Yeah. But for us as a couple, knowing that we went through that story together. Yeah. I feel it definitely created a strength in us that we can see bigger than, our own circumstance.
I mean, what I'm picturing is, you guys had it. That doesn't just happen though. Like, it's not like, oh, we walked through just 8 years of brutal experiences, missed expectations, loss and grief and things like that. Like, you don't just walk through that and it's like, and then it just brought us together. It's like, no, you had to make a choice. Yeah. You had to choose each other. Yeah. You had to choose to continually like lean on the Lord. Like you had to choose to, okay, I can't just like wallow in grief and numb myself. I have to like you said, like I have to talk with people. I have to be open. And so you guys made that choice. Like, was that like a conscious thing for you? Because like this would just destroy a marriage. Like easily would destroy a marriage.
And we've heard about that. I mean, I've heard about that many times that this can be one of the, just going through one of these experiences can lead to, I mean, the thing that we never want to talk about in our marriage from a, you know, on a divorce side of the, you know, that side. I would say that we were able to walk through that together, and we were always able to come back to, well, what do we believe? Like, what are our values? What was our commitment to each other when we first got married? And it was always, we knew it was a eternal commitment. It's a commitment to God that we are together as one. Yeah. And even in the ups and downs, when she's experiencing something different than myself, we knew that we had to come back. That was something we always knew we needed to come back to. Yeah.
I think sorry, you were going to say something? Oh,
I was just going to say, we both did that work individually too, though, because it would have been too much and not really fair if I would have put it all on him or expected him to, you know, be the counselor and all that. Like, of course, as, you know, spouses, we relied on each other, encouraged each other. But so I got involved in a couple pregnancy and infant loss groups so that I could have that community of women who knew what I was walking through. Same with you, having the mentor. So I think us both doing that individually really helped. Like when we came together.
And I also think like all of that, it's that the community, like, you know, I'm going to get this tattooed on me. It's like lone wolves die alone. Like if you're like, you go, like if you try to handle this by yourself, there's no outcome for you. Like it's all negative. And so like for you to be like, I need to get in community. I need to be just seen and heard, because I need, like, whatever the enemy is trying to like spin up in my head, like I need to be able to speak it out and like let truth like dismantle that. Another thing that I assume because of what we talked about earlier is, I think you guys said that you were, you know, you knew each other for a few years before you got married, and you developed friendship, like you developed relationship. To me, like that, like Natasha and I, we knew each other for, we were friends for, I think it was 2 years before we got married. And I am convinced that if we didn't do that, like we would not be together. Like we would not have walked through, you know, 5 years of just intensity in a healthy way if we did not have that friendship. Like this, at this point, we're, you know, 2 years into cancer, and I'm like, well, this is my friend. Like I'm going to fight for her. I'm going to be with her because she's my friend. It's not just this girl I thought was cute and it's my expectations got all mixed up, so I'm going to bail and go somewhere else. But like you guys had those years of intentional relationship and friendship, so that as you're walking through those moments, you're like, this is my friend, you know, like I'm here with her. Like this is why I'm fighting for her and choosing the difficult things. And so I love that. So you, I feel like at this point of the story, I kind of want to just hear from you guys. I mean, you have 3 beautiful kids. You probably are like done now, right? Like we won't go for 4. We'll just shoot for 3.
She wanted 4 originally.
I did.
At that point, did you guys decide like, all right, let's be done with 3?
It was pretty hard on my body, that last pregnancy. Okay. And I just felt at peace. I felt like, thank you, God. I feel like our family is full and whole, and I want to be healthy for my kids. So
yeah, exactly.
And it's pretty chaotic with 3 little ones at home.
3's a lot. We have 2, and I'm like, so glad we don't have 3. So
the 3 put us over the edge a little bit. So.
And then
there's a lot of diaper changes that were happening that back half of the 8 years. Like, there's a lot going on with no sleep. And,
that's probably the memory is kind of hard. It's like, we just weren't sleeping for half this too. And so
it's a little foggy.
So I know kind of around this time, I think if I remember your story, this is when you guys started attending Radiant. I remember part of that story was you had shared like, I never would have served in kids ministry, and there was something that kind of unlocked in me, like and serving in kids. And so what I was gathering from that, we don't have to talk through all that again, but what I was gathering from that is like something changed in you guys walking through this situation. It's not like, because this is how when I talk with people who are going through a traumatic moment, what they will typically think, this is not a blanket statement, what they typically think though is, I want this to be over so I can go back to normal life, like whatever like I was thinking and feeling and who I was before. And I try to remind them like, look, just so you know, you're not going back to normal life. Like there's going to be a new normal.
Yeah.
And so for you guys, you walked through, we'll just say 8 years of this. Like you now have 3 kids, but you've walked through an intensity in the season. You're now different. The way you think about the Lord is different. The way you think about each other is different. The way you think about family, about other people, community, God, church, all that kind of stuff. So what were some things for you that, this is a huge question. I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you this. So whatever, we can cut all of this if we need to, is what were some things that changed for you, maybe internally or about other people or each other, whatever that might be, as you guys have like, I wouldn't say closed that chapter, but it's like almost like a new chapter started because now you're raising a family. Like your kids are still decently young. Like it's like you're still in the throes of like raising a family. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't have an answer yet. So
I think so throughout that process too, like one of the things the Lord called me to do was lead a women's group for pregnancy and infant loss. And it was scary. I didn't really feel equipped.
Yeah.
But I felt like God just reminded me, I'm going to walk with you through this.
Yeah.
And I had so much joy in serving and encouraging other women who had been through what I've been through.
Yeah.
And so that just really developed my heart to serve. And I think just an appreciation for God and to think like I wasn't a believer and just to think like where my life started and where it is now. And that He did not forget me. He didn't leave me. He had good plans for me. And so that just, I think, makes me passionate about serving and then kids in general. Like I'm a teacher by day and have always wanted to be a teacher. So that's where my heart is with kids.
Yeah.
So, and then we found a home with Radiant. I mean, that's where we wrapped up having our family and just to see how our kids were shepherded and ministered to in the church. I mean, they absolutely love it. And, it's just a part of our family. And now our kids are serving where they can in kids. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I think serving with kids, I had zero intention in the past ever. It wasn't even
if I get asked tomorrow to do it, I'd be like, nah.
But I've been doing
I have
it
2 kids.
So after we came, I mean, it was 7 months before Everly was born when we came to Radiant. And I think we started serving in kids
pretty quick.
It's
like when we had Saturday nights, we jumped into that pretty quickly. It was like through COVID, like right after,
Yeah, so just realizing that, well, we now had 2 kids and our third one was there, that, hey, this is something I could do. And God will equip me, even if it's taken years to figure out how to help calm down a classroom. I've had to learn things from Jessica. It's been really great being able to serve in that way.
I'm curious if like the Lord did something in your heart, even just the value of children. I mean, for you, it's like, this is something that you guys like worked for. Like it wasn't easy. Like the value of like I think of like I was telling you earlier, like we were told we weren't supposed to have kids. Like, so when I look at my kids, I'm like, we were told you were not supposed to be here. Like how I think about you is there's a high value because it's like, you shouldn't be here.
They are like miracles.
Yeah. It's not just like, your mom and I, we just, just decided to have some fun and out you came, and it's just kind of like, this is just an outcome of sex and that's just what you do. And it's like, no, actually this was like, you guys spent 8 years like laboring and partnering with the Lord. And the outcome of that were these 3 beautiful children. And so now when you look at other kids, I'm less like, man, you are like, what is your story going to be? Just like when you talk about your daughter, it's like, the way that you came was not normal. It's like, what is your story going to be in life?
They've got a plan and a purpose. Yep.
Yeah, and we see through, I'm just going to talk about our oldest with Levi, just the things he's doing to minister to other kids actually it's been unbelievable. He serves in kids ministry and so does our middle daughter, Avalon, as well. We haven't said her name yet. Avalon Grace, that's her middle name.
What's Levi's middle name?
Lewis. That's his middle name.
Yeah.
Family name. So we've seen them serving in the ministry side, but I'm now seeing Levi stepping out and impacting kids in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Talking to them about Jesus.
Yeah.
And now they're talking to people about Jesus. that is the most amazing thing, that it's not just mom and dad.
Well, that's God. He's God working in him and has a plan for him. Because
guess what? If you decided the very first pregnancy you had and then you have your surgery and you're like, forget this. We don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like Levi would not be here.
Yeah.
I know.
He would not know Jesus. He would not tell those people about Jesus. Like the impact that is happening, the legacy that is happening in your guys' lives, which is exponential. It's like 1 + 2 is like 5, and 5 + 4 is 25. It's like the math doesn't even make sense anymore.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, and then it's literally like because you guys said yes to God. Like it's like, okay, like we will trust you.
Yeah.
Like we'll trust in your timing. I don't want to do this anymore. Like this feels terrible. I hate
there
feeling.
There were times. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, after 5 months, I would have been like, all right, well, I guess we'll just do something different or not at all. It's like, but you're like, no, I'm going to keep feeling this every single month.
And we've had, best friends of ours, family members of mine that have experienced some similar waiting periods. And I know that you've been a big encouragement to them, Jess.
We've just been able to walk together. Like when you experience grief or, like you said, traumatic things, like there's a different way you get to walk together because you know what it's like.
Oh yeah.
Like you can be in those shoes together.
Yeah.
And you need that.
Okay. So let's land the plane with that right there. So you had started to say that, like, let's say you're across the table from a couple who's experiencing, they're in the waiting. It's like they're in that loss. Either we've had multiple failed pregnancies or we can't stay pregnant or something. It could be 20 different things or so much. You're sitting across from them. What would you say to them in that season? Like, there's the typical like, oh, I'm sorry. That's like what everyone else would say. But it's like, but you've experienced walking through both sides of that.
Yeah.
Like what would you share with that husband or that wife?
I think I would have wanted someone to tell me, going through that, like, you are not going to feel this way forever. Like this is just a season. And so you can trust the Lord in the season, even through the pain, to lean into him, that, there might be everyone around you having a family and you think God has forgotten about you, but he hasn't.
Yeah.
And just trusting that God has a plan for their family, for each one of their kids to be exactly born in history at the time, meant for their plan and purpose. That's so bigger than us.
Yeah.
I had to put myself aside and know God's bigger than me and my plans I might have for any kids.
Yeah.
But just to know that, like that song, Joy in the Morning, like there will be joy, even though you're experiencing pain, just to like trust the Lord.
Yeah. So good. Can you top that? Or
I was like, cover my mouth on that one. No, what hit me right away was, one, I hear you.
Yeah.
But most importantly, God hears you.
Yeah.
Here's this pain, this grieving moment that you have right now. And it's the trust and the timing side of things. You hit it so perfectly there. I don't know if I can really add to that, because what you just said on the trusting in the plan and purpose for those children.
Yeah.
Like what I had shared on Levi and how he's sharing with kids that I would have never been able to have that impact with. And knowing that he's felt a calling on mission and things like that in the future.
Yeah.
That is a whole nother level that this is beyond time and what we're doing and how we wanted to be pregnant before 30. This is God's timing.
Yeah. And the season thing it's so important to think about. It's like a different way of picturing it is like, you're in Michigan winter, February, and you're just like, Michigan winter is going to be forever. It'll never end. We're in the despair. It's like, and it's like, no. Like, just like, there's a different season coming. It might, like, doesn't mean that a child will always come. Like, the season will change. And it's like, but you're not going to be where you are forever. And that's like, because you, like, people in those moments, which it's not like they're not bad for doing that, but it's you look down and that's like all you can see is what's in front of you. It's like this, like the Lord will give you perspective, like will lift your head up. Look, there's a season coming. So trust him as you walk through it. And so that's so good. guys, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Like that was so cool.
fun-
There was
fun
so much
chatting with
I
you.
did not know in this story. Like I won't be able to look at your kids the same. Like just to be honest, and I can't look at you guys the same anymore. Like just to see, again, like what we talked about is this story is more than just a story of, trusting in God through infertility and pregnancy. It's like I said, it was actually that you were even alive to begin with, and like that you guys met to begin with, like, and that the relationship you had beforehand, like the Lord leading you, all those little puzzle pieces. Like when you look back now, I'm sure in those moments you're like, oh, this was the Lord. But it's like, yeah, but fast forward 10 years and you're like, oh, wow, this was the Lord. Like, look at what he did in our lives. So thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's tons of fun. So
thanks, Sean.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this conversation. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Radiant Podcast. Come on, guys.
Let's go.
That was great. That was fun.
Man.